Hi Chelsea, it's Mom. I love you and I want to help you pass your exam for your cosmetology senior exam. We are just starting into chapter 6, which is called General Anatomy and Physiology. Cosmetology is primarily restricted to the muscles, nerves, circulatory system, and bones of the head, face, neck, arms, hands, lower legs, and feet. The basic unit of all living things is called the cell. The substance called protoplasm is found in the cells of all living things. The study of the structures of the human body is called anatomy. A dense active protoplasm found in the center of the cell is called the nucleus. Most cells reproduce by dividing into two identical cells called daughter cells. The watery fluid that cells need for growth, reproduction, and self-repair is found in the cytoplasm. The chemical process whereby cells are nourished and carry out their activities is called metabolism. The chemical process of cell nourishment has two phases, which are anabolism and catabolism. A collection of similar cells that perform a specific function are called tissue. A type of tissue that supports, protects, and binds together other tissues of the body is called connective tissue. Tissues that are a protective covering on the skin or the lining of the heart and glands are examples of epithelial tissue. Nerve tissue is composed of special cells known as neurons. The physical foundation of the body is the skeletal system. The connection between two or more bones is a joint. The specific name for the study of the anatomy, structure, and function of the bones is called osteology. The ankle joint is formed by the tibia, fibula, and the talus. The oval, bony case that protects the brain is called the cranium. The hindmost bone of the skull, below the parietal bone, which forms the back of the skull above the nape, is the occipital bone. The bones of the face are involved in the facial massage. The system of the body that covers, shapes, and supports the skeleton tissue is the muscular system. The medical term used to describe the study, function, and diseases of the muscles is myology. The two bones that form the upper jaw are the maxilla bones. The two bones that form the sides and crown or top of the cranium are called the parietal bones. Parietal, P-A-R-I-E-T-A-L, bones. The uppermost and largest bone of the arm, extending from the elbow to the shoulder, is the humerus. The foot is made up of how many bones? 26. The foot is made up of 26 bones. Which kind of bone is a heavy, long bone that forms the leg above the knee? It's called the femur. So let's read that again. The femur is a heavy, long bone that forms the leg above the knee. Muscles are fibrous tissue classified as three types, which are striated, non-striated, and cardiac. Skeletal muscles attached to bone are voluntary or controlled at will are called striated muscles. The part of the muscle that does not move is the origin. Pressure applied to a muscle during a massage is usually directed from the insertion to the origin. The broad muscle that covers the top of the head is the epicranius. The front portion of the epicranius that raises the eyebrows, draws the scalp forward, and causes wrinkles across the forehead is the frontalis. The sternocleidomastoid muscle in the muscle of the neck that is responsible for lowering and rotating the head. The ring muscle of the eye socket that enables the eyes to close is the orbicularis oculi. A muscle covering the back of the neck and the upper and middle region of the back that rotates or controls the swinging of the arms is the trapezius. Muscles that straighten the wrist, hand, and fingers to form a straight line are the extensors. The muscle at the base of the fingers that draw fingers together are the adductors. One of the other choices is abductors. That's the wrong. The muscles at the base of the fingers that draw fingers together are the adductors. The gastrocnemius muscle is located in the lower leg. The scientific study of the structure, function, and pathology of the nervous system is neurology. Every square inch of the body is supplied with fine fibers known as nerves. The nervous system that controls the brain, spinal cord, spinal nerves, and cranial nerves is the central nervous system. The system of nerves that carries impulses or messages to and from the central nervous system is the peripheral nervous system. The portion of the central nervous system that originates in the brain, extends down the lower extremity of the trunk, and is protected is the spinal cord. The largest and most complex nerve tissue in the body is the brain. Which cords made up of bundles of nerve fibers held together are connective tissues are nerves. Let me reread that. Whitish cords made up of bundles of nerve fibers held together by connective tissues are nerves. Sensory nerve endings that are located close to the surface of the skin are called receptors. Nerves that carry impulses from the brain to the muscles and produce movement are called motor nerves. The largest of the cranial nerves, also known as the trifacial nerve or the trigeminal nerve, is the fifth cranial nerve. Let me reread that. The largest of the cranial nerves, also known as the trifacial nerve or the trigeminal nerve, is the fifth cranial nerve. The chief motor nerve of the face that emerges near the lower part of the ear and extends to the muscles of the neck are the seventh cranial nerve. Let's reread that. The chief motor nerve of the face that emerges near the lower part of the ear and extends to the muscles of the neck is the seventh cranial nerve. The nerve and branches that supply the thumb side of the arm and back of the hand are the radial nerve. The anterior tibial nerve extends to the front of the leg behind the muscles and is also referred as the deep peroneal nerve. Deep peroneal nerve. The anterior tibia nerve extends from the front of the leg behind the muscles and is also referred as the deep peroneal nerve. The system that controls the steady circulation of blood through the body by means of the heart and blood vessels is the circulatory system. The system that involves the heart, arteries, capillaries, and veins is the blood vascular system. A clear yellowish fluid that circulates in the lymphatics of the body and carries waste and impurities away from the cells is called lymph. The upper thin-walled chambers of the heart are the left and right atria. The blood circulatory system that sends blood from the heart to the lungs to be purified is the pulmonary circulation. Tube-like structures that include arteries, capillaries, and veins are called blood vessels. A thin-wall blood vessel that is less elastic than an artery is a vein. The largest artery in the body is called the aorta. White blood cells perform the important function of destroying disease-causing microorganisms. The artery that supplies blood to the anterior or front part of the scalp, ear, face, neck, and side of the head is called the external carotid artery. The main blood supply of the arms and hands are the ulnar or radial arteries. Which of the following is not an artery that supplies blood to the lower leg or foot? The radial artery. Which of the following is not an artery that supplies blood to the lower leg or foot? The radial artery. Let me read that again with the opposite true in case this question is asked differently. Which of the following is an artery that supplies blood to the lower leg or foot? And there are three of them that are correct. Popliteal artery, anterior tibial artery, and posterior tibial artery. Endocrine glands release a secretion called hormones. An integumentary system is made up of the skin and accessory organs such as oil and sweat glands, sensory receptors, hair, and nails. Okay, that is the end of chapter 6, and we will start with chapter 7 next. I love you.